Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and inshallah, again, welcome to a great, again, these nights are amazing nights. And just for me, I'm just ecstatic in terms of the things that I get to do, and I'm so grateful. And I just want to say that right off the top that when you really work hard to accomplish something that you really enjoy as a person. I was just having a conversation. I just want to give you a little bit about what happened in terms of this small aspect. And this person had a lot of great things in their life. They've succeeded financially, they've succeeded in their relationships, they've succeeded in many things, but there's still a lack of fulfillment that they have. And it's the somewhat of a spiritual side. And it's amazing to me when we have everything worldly, but we don't feel fulfilled. So ultimately, what I want to just kind of shed some light on here is, guys, at the end of the day, when we are moving in life, listen, at the end of the day, what is the purpose in terms of what we're trying to do? It's to perfect who you are and to get yourself to the highest point. And Imam Ali alayhi salam, he says, وَأَدْنِيَنِي مِنْ قُرْبِكَ. So he says, bring me closer to you. What is you? What are you trying to gain in terms of that perfect ideal self? When I was talking to this person and they were just telling me about these things, I asked them the same question. What is your ideal self? And they're a little older, but the person says, I don't know. So your journey is to go to the inside, find out who you truly are, and take yourself to the next level internally. Not about the financial successes. You can discover things a lot. You can discover a lot of things on the outside. But when you don't discover the inside, you're empty. You're literally empty. You're an empty vessel. You may have so much success and everybody may be praising you and, my God, look what you have here. Look what you've done here. But on the inside, it won't be praising you. Your own inside won't do that and won't allow you to actually celebrate because you haven't discovered it yet. So, guys, we've gone through the last 4 nights, and if you can, again, take some really good notes. Tonight, I'm going to talk about something that's very important, and it's having an account of good works. What does that mean? Like, it's having the ability to take accounting, al-rasid al-amali, to take accounting and to say, you know what, at the end of the day, that you need that account inside yourself to hold yourself and be so strong to be able to stand and say, you know what, I'm not going to give in. It's that quick, it's that grit, it's that ability to move forward. It's that mental muscle and learning how to build it. These kinds of things are incredible once you understand how much that is and how much we need that. We don't get enough reinforcement. We all need it, all of us, at all the time. And when the pain hits, this is when you really need that. So in any situation, there's an eye within the storm. If you can find it, which is very difficult to find, if you can find it and you touch it, it's like tasting honey for the first time. Inside the harshness of the hardship, there's something so sweet, but it's incredible how you have to get there. It's not an easy journey. It's not something that's just easily attained. It's touching and tasting an emotion in the harshest of storms within emotional weather, meaning there's a mental and an emotional storm happening all around you. And then you reach in to a dimension that not many people get to touch. And there's something that turns on your system and your dopamine releases inside your brain. And I'm going to talk about the dopaminergic systems and how they work and what dopamine really does to your system and how it releases certain aspects. And if you connect that to prayer, it's amazing how that works. But I'm going to put that aside. But how do you touch that? And how do you gain that level? It's incredible. I'm going to try to touch on it as much as I can. But please, look at the last 3 nights in terms of the presentations. Start with the 3 nights ago if you want to continue with this process. because we've talked about every different element. We said al-bawh, meaning to disclose, to actually feel that relief in terms of talking to someone, which is the ultimate power in terms of that relief. We said Allah Azza wa Jal, in terms of through prayer, that when you submit, you rise. That it's that disclosure to empty out your emotions and to hand your responsibility and put it in the hands of God. So on that level, that was the first stage. The second stage, we said al-intima, to have a sense of belonging. These things that we're talking about, these four aspects, are essential needs of a human being. That's what we're talking about. So from here, al-intima is to have a sense of belonging towards something, which kind of suits your identity and you belong to something. Even a baseball team, a football team, a hockey team, it doesn't, you are a fan. That means you're identifying with that sports team. Your religion, you're identifying with that religion. Go to clubs, you're identifying with that club. That's who you are. That's what you're becoming. Your principles will dictate your environments. You have a sense of belonging. That's what that aspect, that was the second aspect that we talked about. And then from there, we said that what is the ultimate sense of belonging? Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. To Allah we belong, and to Him we're going to return. So now you understand that prayer feeds that as well, feeds that segment of a sense of belonging. To whom do you really belong? Who is your owner? Who is your creator? Who is the one that is giving you life consistently and constantly? That you are absolutely dependent on an absolute independent. That's incredible when you really think about that last statement and how it fits your own being. That was the second thing. The third thing we talked about is at-taqdeer, to have a value, a sense of value, to be valued. We all want value. Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, he says, وَأَعَزَّنِي وَلَا تَبْتَلِيَنِّ بِالْكِبْرِ وَأَعَزَّنِي فِي شِيعَتِي وَقَوْمِي, in Du'a Makarim al-Akhlaq. He says, and honor me. We all want to be honored. We all want to be respected. But Imam Sajjad alayhi salam said, well, even within honor, there might be a trial, that you might become arrogant. Okay, that's not a point, that's a side point, but I'm just saying, to be valued, to need love, care, and attention. Now we said that prayer feeds that. How? Because you are being loved by the ultimate aspect. Al-Wadud, Sattarul Ayub, Al-Rahman, Al-Rahim. Allah Azza wa Jal is the ultimate source and entity which can provide you this endless giving, this endless love, this endless mercy. When you understand that, that gives you, again, a push. That gives you a significance to your own being. That was the third. And tonight, what we're going to do is Ar-Rasid al-Amali. It's building the inside, that you have an amazing account in terms of who you are, and your deeds are one by one better than the other. And that strength that you have, that you can build this. And when that challenge comes, and we said that a challenge is like weight, it's weight on a bench. And your mental muscle is to be able to lift it. That's how it works. So for you, in terms of having that ability to have that strength and never to stop, and to move forward and to say, what? I will not stop. Imam Ali alayhi salam, he says the value of a man is what he has done in good. How do you do the good? It's to have that ability to say no. When that comes, you say no. When a challenge that comes and it's threatening your principle, and it's telling you it's a temptation, it's telling you, come, I'm here, and you say no. And that self-respect on the other side says yes. Push, don't quit on that level. Take yourself to the ultimate levels in terms of these kinds of things. That's the way it works. So now, tonight, we're going to go into that. And we're going to build that strength. And we're going to see how even the smallest things you do are going to take you to another level. So let's move into that. Before I begin, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. That should just resonate in your chest. That's the power, that's the strength, that's your identification of who you are. It's excellent when you could do that and you know it with conviction. Now, when you have that conviction and you have the principle, you can say no to certain things and you can say yes to certain things based on the downloaded principles into your mind. And you can apply the principle onto the situation and you get amazing results. That's the way it works. Let's move into this. Before I do, last thing is a great book right here. If you can get it, Will Durant, excellent, excellent book. I recommend this highly in terms of just if you like philosophical things, if you like certain things, this is, again, an excellent book. Get that one. All right. So from here, guys, let's move forward. I'm going to give you a small little intro in the beginning in terms of the subject and where we're going to go from there. In life, we face what? Many temptations that are what? Unlawful. A lot of things that we have to say to the self. Hey, listen, this tastes good. It's really awesome. I like it, but it's haram. I shouldn't have it. It's not slaughtered properly, or it's an illegitimate relationship. Okay. Drugs, money, alcohol, all these things happen. There's a lot in life that tempts us. So we have a relationship with temptation, but we also have a relationship with God. We have a relationship with other people. We have a relationship with ourselves. We have a relationship with nature. All these relationships, which one is going to dictate when there's opposing what? Wants. There's opposing temptations. I want this piece of chocolate, but I'm a diabetic. Okay. My health should dictate my emotional state and say, don't. It's not good for you. Now, so a person has to develop willpower to shut down what? These potentially addictive and destructive patterns of behavior. So when you understand that neurons that fire together, wire together, what that means is you're wiring your brain. It takes less millivolts for the next, whenever you do a habit over and over and over and over, you're wiring your brain. You cannot get rid of this, by the way. And what happens is the dopamine injects, and I'm going to talk a lot about dopamine in a little bit, and reinforces, and now that's becoming you. It's taking a hold of you. You cannot remove that. It's like writing with ink on what? On paper. You cannot remove the ink without removing some of the paper. It becomes a part of you. That's how it works. Now, when you do that and you understand that within my being, every time I do something negative, it's going to propel me towards negativity overall. It's creating a negative person. I'm actually training my conscience to actually be negative. I'm training my conscience to steal. I'm training my conscience to be something crazy, where I know somebody who just got out of jail for a long time. And this person is now afraid of themselves because they don't want to go back. But they're staying alone from people. They're staying away from people. I don't blame this person. Now, this person's a great person, but just has been dealt really bad cards in life. But look, life has taken them into a spin. They would have never, ever thought they'd be in this situation. But now I'm afraid of myself, that I don't want to commit the wrong things. It's incredible how where things can take you to. Now, how can we build the right tools to fight temptations? All right. This is what we're going to go through, and we're going to get ourselves to the next stage. All right. Psychology. Let's go into that, the way it works. In Russia, there was a study that was about the nutrients of babies and stuff like that. And I talked about this yesterday. Okay. When we actually go through this stuff, I want you to understand that we need that reinforcement. I want to talk about security here. I want to use the study for something different. Okay. I want to talk about security. Babies were not touched. They were fed, they were taken care of, they were changed, but most of the babies actually died. Okay. And again, I'm not talking about the ethical part of this study, but when these things happen, you have to realize that you need that reinforcement in terms of love, but what that gives you is an ability to feel secure. When we are given love, when we are given these doses of love, what happens is we feel secure because we feel valuable. Now, and I talked about yesterday where if we don't get that structure properly and we don't take that to the next level, we can really hurt ourselves in terms of our own security, our own self-worth. that we start estimating our brain, we start estimating who we are, we start estimating in terms of what you could do in life. And that can bring about a lot of problems down the line. So the reason why I'm telling you this is this directly stems in terms of your own ability and how much self-worth you have. Because when you don't feel like you're loved, that hurts your self-worth automatically. They're like this. And when I don't feel like I deserve love, care, or attention, guess what happens? I feel beneath other people. I start blaming the world. I start becoming the victim. How can the world do this to me? You know, I'm always the victim. I'm always playing the victim role and other things like that in terms of everything is unfair. And I'm always in a space where everything is non-tolerant to me, where everyone's wrong and I'm always right, and just everything is unfair. And I'm always in a blame perspective. Now, that's not where we want to be. That's not where we want to get to. We want to get to where you take on responsibility bit by bit by bit. And every time we take on higher levels of responsibility, this is where mentorship really comes into place, where a person can measure, your mentor can measure where your next challenge is. They don't make a challenge that's way too high up here where you're going to fail guaranteed, or they don't make a challenge where it's way too low and it's within your comfort zone. They take you up here and they say, you know what? The next 10 steps, this is going to be, it's not going to be comfortable for you. It's uncomfortable because it's an unknown zone. Okay. They're going to take and they're going to make this rise. They're going to make you rise. They're going to push you. They're going to take you to the next level till you beat this challenge. And then you do it again. Then you do it again. Then you do it again. What happens to your own self-value in terms of this slide? What happens? It just reaches another level. Now I'm getting success and more success and more success. And I keep climbing. It's addictive. Progression and moving forward is literally the human drug. It's the human drug. It's about accomplishment. Every time you accomplish something, it gives you more strength. Every time you get closer to Allah, it gives you more strength. Every time you go through a challenge and you beat it and you say no to the self and you go closer to Allah, it's amazing the reward that you will feel. That's how it works. So now, that's why I wanted to use this study in terms of your own psychological state. Let's go further now. Okay, in psychology, there are concepts that allude to the what? To this, guys, exact subject in terms of these concepts. So watch this in terms of these, okay, watch. In terms of being able to delay gratification. So that's what we're talking about overall. These concepts are the ability to do what? Is to tell the self no. I'm going to show you down the line what the Quran says, and it already states this. It states this concept. Okay, delay of gratification is when you can delay the immediate pleasure that he or she is experiencing in the moment for a later, okay, potential reward. It's being able to deny the self in the moment and tell the self, that's the delay of gratification. Delay of gratification is heavily, heavily studied in terms of these kinds of things. Now, I want to show you this. I'm going to take you through this real quick. And let me just expand this. This is a study. This is called the marshmallow study. And I'm going to watch it just for a little bit.
Okay, sit in that chair. All right, here's the deal. Marshmallow for you. You can either wait, and I'll give you another one if you wait, or you can eat it now. When I come back, I'll give you another one, so then you'll have two. But stay in here and stay in the chair till I come back, okay? All right. I'm gonna go do something and then I'll come back. It's yummy.
Hey, look how hard they're struggling with this. It's so difficult. It's that resistance, it's that ability to tell what, I don't want this.
right, so it's up to you. You can have it now or you can wait. Okay. I'll be back. Stay in the chair, okay? Okay.
It's amazing, the struggle. It really is amazing when you watch this.
All right, so I'm gonna leave and then I'll come back, okay? So you can either eat it right now or you can wait. Either way, okay? Okay.
She's already done.
How'd you do? Did you do good? You did? You wanted to eat it, didn't you? Yeah. So did I tell you to give you another one? Okay, now you can have both. You need them.
So guys, like in terms of these kinds of things, I just want to, it's amazing once we really start to see ourselves in terms of this way. I think it's amazing to us when we can actually do this. So they tested kids who are what? Anywhere from 4 to 6 years of old age, and kids that resisted that temptation for a long term, like it's like long-term gain. We have to delay that gratification. You see how difficult these mechanisms are within us already, okay? In terms of who we are and what we're doing in these kinds of things. It's so important that you understand this. Now, I want to talk about this real quick, and I want to get into this and show you how these things work. So I want to give you an understanding of how your brain works. So dopamine helps us pay attention to things that are important. That's what it does. So the dopaminergic systems in your brain, okay, they have there's 4 streams. There's 4 systems in your brain that are dopaminergic, okay, in terms of those systems. And I talked about that yesterday. And what that does overall is it gives you an understanding that this is important, this is not important. It helps us also put our energy into things that are most important. So you're building these systems and you're telling your brain, this is important, keep a focus on it, okay? And it will help you focus your own world in terms of these are the reward centers of the brain. Now, depending on what you tell your brain in terms of it's important. So let's say the first time you have sugar as a baby, it's like, whoa, oh my God, what is it? The brain, what it does is it keeps track of that experience. And it tells you, wait a minute, here's what you did 3 minutes ago. Here's what you did 2 minutes ago. Here's what you did 1 minute ago. Here's what you did now. Do that again. Because I like this reward. And then what it does is this sends this signal now. Strong dopamine signals tell your brain, really, it tells it to competing motives. It tells your other competing motives to do what? Leave me alone. I don't want nothing to do with you right now. All I want is this. That's what it does. Now, these systems, in terms of your own understanding, in terms of your own brain, are already in motion. You're always setting these things in terms of that system isn't there. It's there. Now you tell the system, listen, this is important to me. Now think about this. Hamburger and food or praying before you actually break your fast. What gives you more pleasure? For most of us, it's tough to deny that food. But imagine you actually feel pleasure from that delay of gratification. And you delay this right here. And you can resist the marshmallow. And you can tell the self no. And that little kid, when he says, what? I'm not going to do that. Then she gives him another marshmallow and he eats both of them at once. You're getting both sides. You're getting the taste and the enjoyment of the moment. And you're always getting the taste of that delay of gratification. That's sabr to a whole nother level. That's the ability to hold on to that. And you're being able to put that system down deep inside yourself. And when you do that, that kind of strength is unshakable in terms of these kinds of things. Now, what happens when you take a hamburger? And guys, if you have a problem, anything with any kind of addiction, please pay attention right now. Okay? There's a difference between liking and wanting. There's a difference between an addiction to the phone, okay, an addiction to drugs. Completely different understanding. Okay? When we are addicted to a phone or things like that, we still have control. Okay? There's much lighter signals in your brain that give that signal, okay, than when the dopamine is triggered for drugs or alcohol or these kinds of things. So if you have any kind of addiction, understand, I want to give you something that's very important. These things can be overcome. You just have to learn how to rewire yourself. That's all. I guarantee you, you can beat stuff. So if you don't have hope in terms of, and you have an addiction, there you can get help. I've taken people off of heroin, guys, and they've become just amazing people in terms of success in different places and other. And I'm not saying just me. I'm just there's systems that follow. I didn't invent the systems. I just learned them. Okay, so all you need to do is there's hope. There's a chance. You can take yourself to another level. Okay, but I want you to be careful with the brain because this is what the brain does. And if you're ignorant of this stuff and somebody hands you alcohol, drugs, or any kind of things like that, and you're thinking it's just cool, because you can never anticipate what's going to happen in your brain. And what's really going to happen will shock you. Okay, it will shock you. Now, I've never taken drugs. I've never smoked. I've never drank. I've never done any of these kinds of things. I'm grateful because I had great parents. My dad, we always knew where the line was. I always knew there was, and I knew because he had instilled that in us, but I didn't know that it was instilled till I needed it. So when other people would cross the line and make really bad make really bad decisions, I would know there was a flag that I would see that would come up in front of me, and I was like, whoa, I can't cross that. I would just know. I didn't know where it was coming from. It was just my dad and my mom instilling these things inside of me that I knew where the flags were. Other people didn't have a flag. They didn't know where the lines were. They were just walking, but they didn't see the quicksand. I saw the quicksand. I saw the flag. I knew where to stop. I knew where to say no to the marshmallow. I knew it, but it wasn't because I knew it and I knew how to do it. It was just because I had great parents. And I was offered drugs. I was offered alcohol. I was everything. I was offered everything. But deep down inside, I knew I don't do that. I don't need it. I don't want it. I was already happy. I was already grateful. I had everything that I needed in terms of my own emotional states because what my parents had taught me. So now, here's what drugs do, guys. I want you, if you haven't taken drugs or you're around people who maybe are playing around with drugs and you're tempted in which way, please just listen to this message, okay? Please. And if you know someone that's around you that's maybe experimenting, please show them this message in terms of what your brain is going to do, all right? So here's what the brain does. It helps you focus on the things that what? On only that one thing in terms of that dopamine surge that you get, okay? It helps you focus on it. Now, all at once, it teaches you how to get it again. So your brain says, here's step one, here's step two, here's step three, here's the signal. It's a reward. It wants it again. So that's why when you have candy or when you have a really good dish in terms of a restaurant, hey, man, I want to come back and go get that. I want to eat that again. Okay, why? Because the brain registers that pattern of behavior. And it says, hey, do it again, because here's the signal. I'm going to release the dopamine when you think about this particular thing. So it helps you focus on that one thing. And here's what it does now when you take drugs. Guys, please pay attention. Please pay attention to this. Watch what happens. When you take big doses of drugs, when you actually take drugs like cocaine, weed, all these kinds of things, what you're doing is you're messing with the chemical streams within your brain. That's what you're doing. And now what happens, these drugs, listen to what I'm going to say, please. Okay, these drugs will teach your brain to do what? To seek out more what? Drugs. Because now what you did is you injected the dopaminergic system in your brain with high doses of dopamine. And that high dose is literally like, the amounts are nowhere close to being addicted to a cell phone. They're nowhere close to other aspects within your being. They're nowhere close. There's a difference between liking something, which maybe you like your phone, like to be on your phone, and actually wanting something. There's a complete difference. The biology that takes over when you inject your brain with these systems. There's systems, guys, in your brain. Okay, the ionotropic systems in your brain. Okay, the mesotropic system, or I'm sorry, the metabolic system in terms of your brain. These things, what happens when you mess with that kind of system, it's metabotropic system in your brain. What that does is it really starts messing with these dopamine systems, these dopamine signals in your brain. It starts changing that system. It starts messing with it. And when you do that, all you do is you want more and more and more. You're teaching that system that, oh my God, it gets the signal. So you just have regular signal, and bam, it just peaks when you take that drug. Now what happens? It goes back down again. How are you going to recover from that? The smaller sensations in life you will not be able to feel anymore. And you need more and more and more, because you're teaching that system, what? Give me more drugs. I want that high again. And you slowly start destroying your life. Guys, that's the way it works. So please, if you have problems with these kinds of things, seek help, because you're damaging your brain. At bottom line, that's what you're doing. And what you're doing in terms of getting yourself from gateway drugs, from small little things, and it starts with Adderall, and it's Adderall just to take it to go to sleep, to actually study. It's the worst idea. So many people think that it's okay to do these kinds of things in terms of, I'm in a university and I study and I stay. Guys, it's the worst thing you can do to yourself. It's a stupid idea, okay? And just do the research, that's all. Like, I've taken these kinds of classes, and that's what they tell you. Like, please just listen to your body in terms of what you do. You don't need to put substances in your body. It can produce all these things already. You just need to learn how to control those systems where your thought process is the switchboard, and you need to learn how to do that. So please stay away from these things, guys. There's so much damage you can create, and it creates long-term damage, not short-term, long-term. So please, now let's look at this and see what the religion says about these kinds of things. All right. وَلَلْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى وَالضُّحَى وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ وَمَا قَلَى وَلَلْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى. That kid who delayed that gratification got the 2 marshmallows. Allah is saying, وَلَلْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى. Surely that the latter is better for you than the now. The hereafter is better for you than what you're going to gain now. But imagine, وَلَا تَنْسَى نَصِيبُكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. But Allah also says, but don't forget about this world. Take from this world as well. He says, whoever, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, he says, whoever leaves this world and for the hereafter totally, okay, is not one of us. And whoever leaves the akhirah for this dunya is also not one of us. You have to have that balance of understanding that I have to take from this world and plant properly so I can gain in the hereafter. When I plant here, I will harvest in the hereafter. That's how it works. But at the end of the day, it's that delay of gratification towards the wrong things and to move and have that gratification towards the right things. That's how you build that muscle. Saying no and saying yes, that's wisdom when it's applied properly. You have the principle, you apply it, and you put it into you put that principle into the shotgun of what? Of wisdom, and you fire and you hit your target properly. That's hitting the challenge right in the heart, and you win what you want. That's amazing in terms of when you apply principle properly, when you can hit what you want. Exactly, you become a marksman. You become literally a sniper in terms of life, because you're so precise in your decision making, where you take one shot, one kill. That's how it works, and no one can stand next to you when you actually are maneuvering like that. That's flow, that's confidence, that's self-efficacy, that's self-esteem. All these things come into, and now your power is from here. No one can touch you in terms of when it starts from here. And the calmness and the security when the challenge comes, and you look at it and you're like, come, I'm ready. I've been waiting for you. Where have you been? وَلَلْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى. Surely I've worked on myself, and I've delayed the gratification, and I've aided gratification to the right things, and I've delayed that gratification to the wrong things. And now I want to go. I want to go to the next level. I'm ready, and I can delay that gratification. Okay. Surely the hereafter is better for you than the present. Now watch, in the Quran, it also mentions the concept of delay of gratification, so you can attain the highest form of security or success, which is the ultimate reward of God, heaven. The Holy Quran also mentions what? وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ وَنَهَى النَّفْسَ عَنِ الْهَوَى فَإِنَّ الْجَنَّةَ هِيَ الْمَأْوَى. Surely, if you delay that gratification, watch the reward. We're talking about dopamine, correct? Okay, so how do you bring that into that system and that ultimate reward of Allah Azza wa Jal? But there's something even better than that. There's something Imam Ali teaches us that's even better than that. Actually, even attaining heaven. Imagine what you can gain in heaven in terms of the emotion. He says there's something even better than actually heaven and everything that is in it. Think about that. And it's actually in this world. It's actually here. Do you know what that is? Imam Ali is the ultimate teacher. He's the ultimate master of your soul, mind, and all the understanding of this universe. He is the scientist of the body, the soul, the mind, everything that is there. That's the person you want to follow. That's the person who understands the epitome of your insides. He knows you more than you know yourself. Now, when you can delay that gratification, وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ, the one who what? Is God conscious. He sees, here's the temptation, I have it in front of me, and it's coming towards me. And I stop and I pull back and I say, no way. I'm not going towards that. Now, Allah Azza wa Jal says, whoever delays gratification in terms of me, and they do it because of me, I will lure them with something greater than that temptation. Think about that. There's something beyond the temptation that is waiting for you that's greater in pleasure than what you were seeking. Allah's promising you that. Just follow what He says. He says, follow me and watch what I will give you. Just say no to the things you need to say no to and say yes to what I want you to go to, and watch what will happen to you. Watch your system and how it's going to flow. It's going to be completely different. And now you know about me that when Yusuf alayhi salam was trapped with a woman, he's trapped with a beautiful woman. He's trapped with someone who is tempting him. The door is there. She's there and she's tempting him. She says, I'm here. What would happen, guys? Most of us, if we run towards the door, we're running towards the door to lock it, not to flee from it. And he says, أَخَافُ مَقَامَ رَبِّي. He says, I think of Allah. Can you get to this stage when the temptation is calling your name and you say, Ya Allah, no, I'm not going to do that. وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ. And he sees that state of Allah is watching me and I'm not going to do it. that strength right there, if you can get hold of that strength and put it inside your system and hold on to it with all your might and don't let it go, that strength in that moment is the ultimate self-respect. It's the ultimate dignity. It's the ultimate honor. It's the ultimate everything in terms of what you could do as a human being. It's that one split moment. It's literally one decision, 1 second of time when you say no. That small little second of time, it's a small little window, and you tell yourself no. The effects of that, they will echo time. You just signed time. Because what? وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ. Now, you tell the self no. And then what? وَنَهَى النَّفْسَ عَنْ الْهَوَى. And you tell the self no, I'm not going to do that. You delay that gratification and you say, فَإِنَّ الْجَنَّةَ هِيَ الْمَأْوَى. That's the ultimate reward. Now, guys, what I want to do next is just give you this, and I'm done in terms of the presentation. Imam Ali alayhi salam, he says there's something even better than actually heaven. Wow. I didn't know that for a long time. I thought heaven was the ultimate reward. But what is even greater than that? Imam Ali alayhi salam was asked, and he says, رِكْعَةٌ فِي دُنْيَاكُمْ أَحَبُّ لِيَ مِنَ الْجَنَّةِ وَمَا فِيهَا. He says, rik'ah, one rik'ah in this world is better for me than heaven and what is in it. So prayer. Then he was asked, why? Why is that the truth? Why is that? Why? He says, and he does a comparison between this world and the next. He says, here I taste worship, and there's worship. There, in the hereafter, there is no worship. Worshipping Allah Azza wa Jal is the ultimate force that is inside of you. When you worship Him properly and you get to a point of ikhlas, meaning sincerity in your heart, and now you have that, and that's that strength that when a temptation comes, be it a woman, be it a man, be it a drug, be it any kind of temptation, doesn't matter. That strength, that thought hits the mind, it hits the heart, and it computes. And when it computes, it spits out a result and it says, And now your body is helping you move away. Your mind is helping you move away. You've released the right dopamine into the right system, into the right thought. You've dumped that dopamine into the right thought, which is what? That delay and pushing it away. And now Allah will start luring you with something better. And He will give you that strength. And when you do that over and over and over and over again, guys, that's the ultimate confidence. Ultimate. No one, again, will be able to touch you when you do that. Get down tonight on your hands and on your knees and say, Ya Allah, give me that strength. Give me what Imam Ali touched in terms of these kinds of things and take it to the next level. That's the ultimate power and strength. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.